Now, I know I told you earlier, parents, that on this day of confirmation, now you're off the hook for the confirmand's spiritual well-being, because they've taken a step of responsibility for their own faith at this point. But that really isn't true. You're nurturing, you're helping, you're guiding is still important as you help them to continue to embrace new levels of responsibility in their own spiritual walk. They need you to encourage them and be a model for them as you live your life of faith. I want to challenge families, our church family, as well as the confirmands, to continue to nurture that faith. Would invite you to continue to invest in their faith and help them to learn and grow stronger. The church involvement and spiritual investment is something that we do because we're in covenant together, because we promise to help one another. As a church family, you promise to pray for them. You promise to do what you can to nurture them in their faith. The question that I would ask you, would ask the families, and would ask everyone today, when it comes to your faith development, when it comes to being involved in the church, do you see that as something that is good, or do you see it as something that's a priority? Is it something that's good that, well, when I've got time, when it's convenient, I'll invest in my faith? Or is faith a priority that when it comes to planning your schedule for the week, that you're thinking about how am I going to be nurturing my faith? How am I going to be nurturing the faith of our family? Is faith development something in your home that is good, or is it something that's a priority? Our current preaching series is called Practicing the Way, and we've been using a book by that same title that has shaped some of the topics and how we've walked through what it means to be practicing the way of Jesus. And at one point, the author asked a thought-provoking question that when I read it, my thought was, I'm going to use that on Confirmation Sunday. And what he asked was, are you writing your resume or are you writing your eulogy? Now, that sounds strange on a Confirmation Sunday for teenagers. Why would we talk about writing a eulogy? Well, at first you may think that it's not appropriate on a day like this, but I think maybe it is important. When we write a resume, we're working hard to put those accomplishments, those achievements, those accolades that may help us to get a job. Before long, you're going to be writing college applications and writing for scholarships, and there are a lot of resume-type things that you put on there, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with developing a good resume. But when you die, your eulogy is not about all you did, but your eulogy is about how you lived your life, how it is that you touched the lives of other people and made a difference. When people stand around at your grave, will they talk about what matters? What will they talk about when they talk about what mattered most in your life? New York Times columnist David Brooks famously distinguished between resume virtues and eulogy virtues. And I want to read what he wrote. Resume virtues are what we talk about in life, where we work, what we've accomplished, what accolades we've received, and so on. Eulogy virtues are what others talk about when we die. Namely the people we were, the fabric we're made up, our character, and the relationships that defined our journey here on earth. Now, I have nothing against having a good resume. That's the world in which we live. You need to have a positive resume. But I want you to do more thought about how is it you're developing your character. I believe a key point in developing strong eulogy virtues is a development of your spiritual walk. If your Christian faith and living out that faith is a priority, then I believe that you are developing a eulogy virtues in your life. But if you only see faith as something that's good or simply something else good to put on your resume, then you're not developing eulogy virtues, but simply a resume virtue. Is living out Christian faith something that you see as good, or do you see it as a priority? Do you see faith as something that is good or something that's a priority? Our key verse for this morning comes from 1 Timothy 4, verse 12. It says, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity." Even though you're young, you can develop that eulogy of virtues, that you're making a difference in the lives of others as you make your faith development a continued priority in the days and years to come. For you as a congregation, I want to encourage you to seek someone who is young and to seek to practice the way of Christ before them. That would be my challenge to you, not only to live before the confirmands, but for anyone, that you might encourage them in their faith in the days to come.